Hi, today I want to talk to you about modal verbs, and I moved out onto the porch because there's some problem with the light. I guess we have a cloudy day, and I still wanted to do it now. Anyway, I know you don't care about that, but anyway. Modal verbs are verbs that indicate the speaker's attitude toward the action of the verb. A modal verb is formed by using the modal, for example, the word should, plus the base form of a verb. Should and all of the modals take the same form for all subjects, so we don't add an S for the third person singular like we do for other verbs. We use not for the negative. We put the not with the modal and not with the main verb, so I shouldn't do that, and not I should don't that, or something. Anyway. And don't use the emphatic do. Sometimes people will ask me something like, can he does do that, or something, and you put different verbs together and it doesn't really make sense. I'll try to think of another example as I go along with these specifics here. We're going to talk about five modes in the modal verbs. One is the mode of ability. For ability, we use can the most often, and it's for present ability. I can fly. She can write her name, like that. You can use can for future plans. And this is a negative one, so where I use the not for the negative. I can't go tonight. But for a future ability, we need to not use a modal, we need to substitute will be able to. So once I've studied, I'll be able to pass. It's not once I've studied, I can pass. So that's one little weird thing there. So using can, also use could for past abilities. I could read before I was 5 years old. So that's something that I, in the past, could do. I can still read though. Permission, we can also use the word can. It's less formal. May is more formal and polite. You should use may with authorities like teachers, police officers, judges, things like that. Anybody that has authority over you. Hey, can I borrow a pen? You say to your classmate. Or Miss, may I listen to music? And this one, I used may because if we're using the title Miss, then that probably means that the person has authority over you. Alternatively, you can use do you mind if, when an action may annoy or inconvenience someone. Do you mind if I turn the volume down? And so if I ask you that, hey, do you mind if I turn the volume down? If you're giving me permission to turn the volume down, the correct answer is no, as in no, I don't mind, or no, not at all, I don't mind. So these are for asking permission, or here granting permission. Granting permission follows the same rules. Can is less formal, like you can sit here. Or may is more formal, you may leave, or as I say, you may go. So if I'm talking to my friend, you can sit here. If I have some sort of authority over the person, then I might want to use the word may to exert my authority. I didn't put must here, but must is to grant permission, kind of, but with an obligation. So you must leave now. Okay. Requests. So permission is asking if I can do something. Requests is asking someone else to do something. Informal, you can use can again, so can be used for all three of these. You can use can, or you can use will. Can you come here? Will you please stop? So you can see that will is a little bit more blunt, and can is a little softer. More formal or stronger is could or would. Could you pass me the salt? Would you stop doing that, please? Okay. Or even more polite. would you mind, plus Jared, would you mind turning down the music? So I'm asking the person if that would annoy them. It's kind of like with this. And then another mode is advice. I'm trying to make sure that you can see that. Advice. Should is the most common modal verb to use for advice. You should try out for the play. Okay? Ought to is for when something is advisable or a good idea. You ought to sing louder. You can also use should for that. You can use should and ought to pretty interchangeably, but should is more common. And you can soften these with maybe or perhaps or I think. I think you should try out for the play. Maybe you ought to sing louder. Okay? And then had better is for when something bad will happen if you don't. So like, you had better stop making fun of him or he will beat you up, kind of thing. Something bad is going to happen. Okay? And then possibility. I didn't have a lot of room here. Possibility modal verbs can be may, might, must. May is when something is less likely. He may not be at home. But when it's more likely that he won't be at home, it's, no, let's not go, he might not be at home. Or must is when you're guessing, but you're pretty sure that you're right. So he must not be at home. Like you already knocked on the door and he didn't answer. Oh, he must not be at home. Because you have some evidence, okay? Hopefully this will help you as we get into the book assignment and into the, into the written assignment. So hopefully this will help you, and also the voice and mood video that I will add as well as this one.